There is a war happening inside you right now. Not with another person, not with your job, not with your circumstances. The war is between you and reality itself. And here's the brutal truth. You are losing. Every single day you wake up and spend your energy fighting things that already exist, things that have already happened, things you cannot change. And that constant, exhausting battle is not strength. It is not discipline. It is the one habit that is silently stealing your peace, your focus, and your life. The Stoics figured this out over 2,000 years ago, and what they discovered will completely change the way you see everything. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most powerful men who ever lived. He commanded the greatest empire the world had ever seen. He had armies, wealth, and authority that most people cannot even imagine. And yet, if you read his private journal, a book we now call Meditations, you will find a man who was not fighting the world around him. You will find a man who had learned something rare, something almost nobody in history truly masters. He had learned how to stop resisting life. And because of that, he had something almost no emperor before or after him ever had: a quiet mind. Most people think peace is something you find after everything goes right. After you get the job, after the relationship works out, after the money comes in, after the hard part is over. But here is what the Stoics understood that almost nobody talks about. Peace is not a reward waiting on the other side of your problems. Peace is a decision you make right now, in the middle of the mess. It is not the absence of difficulty, it is the presence of acceptance. And acceptance, real acceptance, is one of the hardest and most powerful things a human being can choose to do. Think about the last time something went wrong. Maybe it was something small, like traffic making you late. Maybe it was something bigger, like a plan falling apart after weeks of preparation. Whatever it was, think about what happened inside you. The frustration, the tightness in your chest, the loop of thoughts running through your mind, replaying the moment, wishing it had gone differently, asking why it happened, rehearsing what you should have said or done. That mental loop, that invisible fight you were having with something that had already happened, cost you something. It cost you time. It cost you energy. It cost you presence. And the worst part is, it changed nothing about what actually happened. The situation stayed exactly the same. Only you were worse for it. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers who ever lived, was born a slave. He had no wealth, no freedom, no power over his circumstances. And yet he became one of the most respected philosophers in the ancient world. His students came from across the Roman Empire to sit at his feet and listen. And the foundation of almost everything he taught came down to one simple but devastating idea. There are things within your control, and there are things outside your control. And the moment you stop trying to control what you cannot, your entire life changes. This is not a passive philosophy. This is not about doing nothing or giving up. The Stoics were not weak men. They were warriors, rulers, and thinkers who carried enormous responsibility. What they understood is that your energy is limited, your focus is limited, your mental strength is limited, and every ounce you pour into resisting things that cannot be changed is an ounce you steal from the things that actually can be changed. You do not have unlimited fuel, and most people are burning theirs on the wrong fire. Seneca wrote something in one of his letters that has stayed with me. He said that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Read that again slowly. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about how much of your pain right now is not from what is actually happening, but from what you are telling yourself about what is happening. Think about how much of your suffering is not from the event itself, but from the story you keep replaying inside your head. The Stoics called this the obstacle of the mind, not the obstacle outside you, the one inside you. And they believed without any doubt that this was the only obstacle that truly mattered. Here is where it gets real. Stopping the fight with life does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become cold or emotionless. It means you redirect. You move your energy from the unchangeable to the actionable. Something bad happened. Okay. You cannot go back and make it not happen. But you can decide right now what your next move is. You can decide how you carry this. You can decide what this experience is going to teach you, and how it is going to shape you going forward. That decision right there is where your power actually lives, not in the thing that happened, in your response to it. Marcus Aurelius lost children. He fought wars for over a decade. He dealt with betrayal inside his own court. He watched plagues kill hundreds of thousands of people across his empire while still being expected to lead. And through all of it, he kept writing in his journal, not to complain, not to curse his fate, but to remind himself over and over to focus only on what he could control and let go of everything else. He was not a man who had an easy life. He was a man who had trained his mind so deeply that difficulty could not destroy him. And that kind of mental training is available to every single person who chooses it. The quiet mind the Stoics talked about is not a mind with no thoughts. It is not a mind with no pain. It is a mind that has learned to observe its storms without being swept away by them. It is a mind that can feel difficulty without becoming defined by it. It is a mind that can sit in the middle of uncertainty and chaos and still know who it is and what it is doing. That is not something you are born with. That is something you build, slowly, day by day, choice by choice. So start small. The next time something goes wrong today, and something will go wrong, pause before you react. Just pause, take one breath, and ask yourself one honest question. Is this within my control or outside it? If it is outside your control, feel what you feel, and then let it go. Do not carry it into tomorrow. Do not let it poison the next hour. If it is within your control, move, act, do something. But do not sit in between, which is where most people live, paralyzed by what they cannot change, frozen from taking action on what they can. That in-between space is where peace goes to die. The Stoic path to a quiet mind is not complicated. It is just rare, because it requires something most people are not willing to do. It requires you to stop blaming, stop waiting, stop fighting with what is already real, and start showing up fully for the only moment that actually belongs to you. This one, right here, right now. The world will keep throwing things at you. That is guaranteed. But whether those things break you or build you, that is the one thing that will always, always be yours to decide. If this hits something in you, drop a comment below and tell me which part landed the hardest. I read every single one. And if you know someone who is stuck in that exhausting loop of fighting life right now, share this with them. It might be exactly what they need to hear today. The Stoics built their lives on one truth, and now you have it too. Stop fighting, start living.